All right, let's dive into one of the most common and, frankly, deceptive online threats out there. It's a social engineering trap we're calling Clickfix, and really, understanding how it works is the absolute best way to make sure you never, ever fall for it. And, that's not just hyperbole. The attack we're looking at today is so clever because it preys on your trust. It uses one simple, seemingly innocent click to throw the doors wide open to your personal data, your accounts, your peace of mind. The stakes are just incredibly high. So, how does this whole thing actually work? Well, the entire attack is built on a really simple but clever bit of deception. It takes your natural instinct to keep your computer safe and sound, and it completely flips it against you. Let's break down how. At its heart, ClickFix is a classic wolf in sheep's clothing. This isn't an attack that has to hack its way in. It actually gets invited. It convinces you that something's wrong and that you need to click that button to fix it. But that fix? Yeah, that's actually the start of the whole problem. When you see them side by side like this, the difference is just night and day. A real update? It comes from your official system settings, and you're the one who kicks off the process. But a ClickFix fake? It just jumps out at you from a random website pop-up. The number one thing to remember here is context. If a message about your system is coming from your browser, it's not real. Period. So everything kicks off with the bait. The attacker's first job is to create something that looks just legitimate enough to make you stop, get a little worried, and then click. And you might be surprised at just how simple this really is. We're not talking about some super complex, sophisticated code here. An attacker can use basic HTML, the same stuff that builds web pages, to whip up a pop-up box that looks almost identical to a real system alert. It's a very low-effort disguise that has a huge impact. Okay, so you've seen the fake pop-up, you're a little concerned, and you click Update Now. This is the exact moment the trap springs. See, that button doesn't do what it says it's going to do. It's secretly running a command in the background. Now, the code you're looking at right now is just a harmless demo. All it's designed to do is create a simple text file on the desktop. But just imagine for a second that instead of this harmless command, it said something like, download ransomware or copy all my passwords. This one little line of code is the payload. That's the part of the attack that does all the real damage. And just like that, poof, the file appears on the system. You, the user, might not notice a thing. You might just think the update failed or the window just closed. But in the background, the attacker's code has already done its job. They're in. But just getting in once usually isn't enough for an attacker. They want to stay there. So the final step is something called persistence. It's all about making sure their malicious code runs again and again, even after you shut down and restart your computer. And the way they pull this off is, again, surprisingly simple. They basically just add an entry to your system's automatic startup schedule. Think of it like adding a recurring event to your calendar. It tells the computer, hey, every single time you boot up, I want you to run this malicious program first. And that little trick ensures the attacker stays in control. Okay, so we've walked through the attack from start to finish. Now for the most important part. How do we make sure this never ever happens to you? Well, the good news is the defense is actually remarkably straightforward. Let's just walk through this defense plan together. First rule, always be the one to start an update. Go to your official settings menu yourself. Don't let a pop-up tell you what to do. Second, you have to build this reflex. If a security alert pops up in your web browser, it's a fake. Just close the tab. And third, have a good security program running. Think of it as your safety net. It's designed to catch exactly these kinds of shady behaviors. So if we had to boil all of this down to one single core idea that you can take with you, what would it be? What is the one fundamental principle that just completely defeats this entire attack? This is it. This is everything. The entire ClickFix attack depends on you acting impulsively in trusting what you see. By just taking a half second to pause and verify, by asking yourself, wait, is this message coming from the right place? You break the whole chain of deception. So remember that. Always verify before you click.